All right, good afternoon, class. We're on lesson 83, the properties of geometric solids. Whoa, we're going way too far. Okay, there you go. Lesson 83, properties of geometric solids. So, our objective for today is to identify geometric solids by their faces, edges, and vertices. And we're also going to be able to describe geometric solids after this session is done. Here's our math joke. What types of tools do you use in math? And we use multipliers. Here's our vocab. I only need you really to write these ones down here on the bottom. Bases are base, edge, face, geometric solid, and plane figure. Um, Here I want you to see the different vocabulary for these things. Cone, this is a cone right here. Letter E is a cube. Pyramid, this is what a pyramid looks like. A rectangular solid is basically a rectangle, like a block, basically a rectangular block. Letter F is a sphere. Okay, that's like a ball, like a basketball. And then D is a cylinder, like a roll of pennies or something. All right, so you just need to make sure that you know the difference between these shapes. All right. So here's your new concept. Um, this is a cube. Okay, and this flat part of the cube or rectangular prisms is they are called faces. All right, so the flat part of the cube or one side of the cube would be a face. This edge right here, the black edge of the cube, that is called, the edge. All right, and then each point of the cube, or like one of your geometric shapes, is called your vertex. Okay, and when you have more than one vertex, they're called vertices. And what you want to know too is that in rectangular solids like this one, we have AB, which is this edge right here. AB is parallel to CD. Okay, so also AG is perpendicular. Remember, it makes a right angle with AG and AB. Okay, so there's a right angle there on that. These two come together to form a right angle. All right, so at the vertex, at the different vertices, they connect, and you can find that they are perpendicular. Excuse me, that was weird. And then the lines are also parallel, so the edges become parallel. AB is parallel to DC, but then AD is also perpendicular and make right angles to these lines here. So DC is perpendicular to AD, and as well as AB is perpendicular to AD. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Here's our example number one. We got to name this shape. Okay, so remember from our example or from our vocabulary, you should be able to name the shape. This is not a cube because this face is not congruent to this face. So it is a rectangular solid, okay, or rectangular prism. And so how many faces does it have? So we have to count each face of this solid, and depending how you look at it, there's one face here. There's one face perpendicular to this face in front, and then there's a face here which is perpendicular to this face. So like a dice, it has 6 different faces. Okay. Here's example number 2. What shape is a basketball? And from our vocabulary words, if you remember what shape it is a sphere. Okay, the sphere is like the globe or the planet Earth. That is a sphere. Any type of ball would be considered a sphere. It's a three-dimensional object. It takes up space, and it's not a circle. All right. And then example number 3, we have this shape here. You got to name the shape. So according to this is a triangular prism or a pyramid. Not a, excuse me, it's a pyramid and not a triangular prism. This one's a pyramid, and identify its congruent parts. Remember, congruent means the same. All right, so it has 4 different congruent faces, right? Remember, the bottom or the base of the pyramid is not congruent because it is a square on the bottom, and the faces are the pyramid. I mean, the triangle face. Okay. So it has 4 congruent triangular faces. Okay, so we are already on our lesson practice. So we're going to name the geometric shape of these real-world objects. If you need help to figure out what these shapes are, you can rewind this video and go back to our vocabulary to figure out the different shapes of these objects. Okay, and then this part you might have trouble with. Remember, the edges are basically the lines of the shape. Okay, so where your faces meet are the edges, and then your vertices are the points of your object. Okay, so that's how you find letter H. And then for the bottom part, you need to name your parallel line segments, and you only have to do one pair, so a pair of parallel line segments for this shape. So which line segments would be parallel? Okay, and then you have to name a pair of perpendicular line segments. And then for letter K, which you might need help with, is you need to figure out what a skew, the skew line segments are. So if you have questions on this, skew lines are 2 lines that do not intersect and are not parallel. Okay, so whichever lines are not intersecting, like a perpendicular line intersects, right? J and LO, they intersect, so they aren't skew. So any lines that touch each other are not skew, and also if they're not parallel, if they're parallel, they are not skew. So LO and NN are not skew because they are parallel to each other. So find lines that are parallel or that are not parallel and that do not touch each other, and those will be your skew, your pair of skew line segments. All right, so that is the end of our lesson for today. If you have any questions, write those questions on the back, excuse me, and we'll get to them in class. Have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.